Welcome back to another episode of the Renewable Energy Movement podcast. In this episode, I had the pleasure of speaking to Dirk Holzrichter, who's the head of market entry at Goldbeck Solar. Dirk has worked and led teams in the Middle East, South Africa, Italy, the UK, you name it. He started out as a lawyer after realising he liked being involved in the action of the solar industry, built his career from project management all the way to managing director in companies like UE and Pacifico Energy Partners. If you're curious about what it really takes to enter new markets in renewables, then this is the episode for you. Dirk is very honest about what works and what doesn't. We cover how to navigate cross-cultural collaboration and building trust across borders, why joint ventures usually fail, which new markets should be watching out for, and why your next role might not even exist yet. Quick heads up, the audio quality is a bit imperfect in the beginning, but if you stick with us, it improves after the first few minutes. Let's get into it. Welcome, Dirk, to another episode of the REM podcast, Renewable Energy Movement, powered by Kikyo. I will do an introduction separately, like mentioned, but I can never do it as well as you could yourself. So maybe you'd like to start by a brief introduction of who you are and what you do in the renewable energy space.
Yeah, thanks. Perfect. So first of all, it's a pleasure being here. I feel a bit sugar-coated that you asked me to attend your podcast, so it's great for the chance to talk about a little bit of my career. Maybe just as a starting point, and you might know from my CV and everything that I'm a lawyer, started as a lawyer. So therefore, would like to start with a disclaimer, of course, and saying everything I'm saying here now reflects only my private opinion and not the one of my employer. But nevertheless, I try to be as transparent as possible. My name is Dirk Holzrichter. I'm 54 years old. I'm in the industry since 16 years. Started as a lawyer. Now it's the fourth company I'm in. It's Goldbeck Solar GmbH. And I was mainly working internationally during my whole time, although that I was working only for German companies so far. But my focus was always international business, and this was really a very interesting time through the 16 years with so many ups and downs in several markets. And cool. My current position is, and this is since February, I'm the head of market entry and intelligence in Goldbeck Solar GmbH. Before this, I was running the UK business for Goldbeck Solar. And was leading a team of 36 people. It was a small company, and I think we were quite successful re-entering into the UK market, although there was definitely a change when Goldbeck went out 2016, and you all know, guys, something happened in between, so UK was not anymore UK like we all knew it, but we still have it.
Yeah, that segues quite nicely. How did you make the transition from a legal background into the renewable energy space?
So it was interesting. So I was only working most of my time anyways for PV. I had a very short step into the wind sector, but I was leading a team of 5 lawyers in Juvie back in the days. And I was thinking about what I want to do in the future. And I realized quite soon that I really like leading people. And I was thinking how to lead people. And my former boss in Juvie, the head of the legal department, she was quite young. And I was thinking, okay, there's no chance. And then my future boss was asking me whether I want to join his team. It was Juvie International GmbH. And so there was a transition done, and I never regretted it. Although that I'm still working somehow legally because during the whole years I was always negotiating contracts with lawyers from the respective jurisdiction, of course, because it's hard to know everything in each country. But I really love it. It's law is quite dry. Let's call it like this. And PV sector is always powerful, suspension and everything. And this is really more my character, that I like more in being in the front and not so much in the background. So I was kind of sales. I was, on the titles, director of sales, director project development, then head of profit center, now head of market entry. During my time in UV, I was MD Dubai, MD Istanbul, MD. I was working also in South Africa, and so on and so on. So many things with higher positions. Although I never felt like this is something special, somebody has to do the job.
Yeah, that's really interesting, Dirk. So you've obviously done a hell of a lot internationally with UV. Did you find the transition from what I imagine was very German-based legal work to international-based work quite a big one?
Well, it definitely was not easy. However, working with very experienced international lawyers on the other side, and on helping me, supporting me, this was very helpful. Nevertheless, the standard and the thinking, the legal thinking, if you have it once, you know exactly what is needed. What was really hard in the beginning, coming to the sector, that these EPC contracts were not usual contracts. Although at the beginning, imagine, and you might know it, at the beginning, 2009, we had, I think, about 20 pages only. And there were like references like, say, inverters, SMA or similar or whatever. Nowadays, the last contract I signed for in the UK business was 1,000 pages, including attachments. And I mean, this is hard. So it became harder and harder. And yes, one thing was always a little bit different, being active in UK and the US, because we don't have a reference like a book of laws or whatever. It's a common law. And this is why all these contracts become more thicker and thicker all the times. And many things coming from UK coming to Europe. Anyways, so this is what I will see. We will see also in Europe, in continental Europe. Also, one thing which I would say is also we might see coming from UK is really the power of technical advisors.
Yeah.
So it changed a lot. At the beginning, we were the ones, we EPCs, I mean, saying the client what we think is the best for the client. Now they work more with TAs, and of course they want to earn their money, and therefore they impose and put pressure and trying to get their way, bring it how they want to see it. Unfortunately, they don't want to take responsibility for this. So, but anyways, it's still fun. I mean, it's a win-win situation. I was always trying in each cultural environment. I was trying to create a win-win situation for both parties, which is important. Main because it's my character, but also the sector is still small. I
Yeah.
mean, it was growing a lot, of course, but so many contacts I have from 2009, and you always see twice. The next contact, the one person you meet now could be your boss tomorrow or your colleague or whatever. So it's still a nice environment, getting more and more professional, of course, and of course it's all about money, no
Yeah.
doubt about this. But I think there's special people. This is what what I feel always when people joining the sector new and they say, wow, this is really cool. The people in these companies, they have a special attitude, I think.
Yeah. Nice. And you mentioned just before there that I
Yeah.
think back in 2009, an old boss or somebody in your team suggested this kind of
Yeah.
career switch. Um, Outside of that person, has there been anybody that's kind of inspired you or mentored you along the way with your career, in particular at UV?
Yeah, it was funny. He was another Dirk.
Yeah.
And so he asked me, and because back in the day they were smoking. So we were staying together outside smoking. And then one day he was just asking me whether I want to join his team. And I was saying, okay, what's actually the role? And he was saying, actually, I don't know, but I like you. So let's try it first of all with senior project manager. And then after a couple of months, he promoted me to director sales. And we had a really good relation. It was kind of a friendship in the days and working together very close. Had a good time and we're still in contact. Like most of the people I got to learn in the sector in these 16 years. Still, if it's not friendship, it's still like apprentice. No, not apprentice. Acquaintance.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's really good. And yeah, this he's still working in the sector. He moved also from Juvie to Bayer and now for another company. So it's cool. Yeah, it's was a bit of mentoring, definitely.
Yeah, nice. And the switch that you made, which kind of led to the career progression that you had, do you think that's still available today, or do you think the market has skipped that?
I think it's possible. Giving you an example, before I joined Goldbeck, I joined a startup in Munich, Pacifico Energy Partners, a great company. When I started, I think we were 20 people, now 50, and there are mainly young people in this company, and some of them used this as a startup for their own career. Some are still in this company. Company is now 50 people, 60 people, so there is the chance to grow. And this is anyways what I see for young people. And I was always establishing new teams and let them grow and empower the people. So of course it depends of your line manager,
Yeah,
but I think it's possible, definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Um, Going back to you've already mentioned 5 or 6 different countries on this brief conversation. I think a lot of people in this industry, as I've spoken to at events and in meetings all the time, are kind of stuck working within their one country and with people from within their country. And what is it about different markets and new markets that you enjoy?
I mean, this is really how we would quote in Germany the salt in the soup. I don't know if this exists in UK. This is the
No.
inspiring thing. So the spice, really
Yeah,
what makes it different. Different cultures. You have to be, let's say, open but still careful because you don't know what's happening on the other side. If you don't know what is the culture about. And this happened particularly, I made definitely a lot of mistakes in the Middle East and in Turkey, where the German approach, very straightforward, very direct, is not very well seen from time to time. And I had a training, even though I had a training at the beginning, and there was a nice cartoon the trainer was showing to me, like a sheikh and a Western-styled um, manager. And the sheikh was just saying, look, we have the time, you have the watch. And it's exactly like this. First of all, creating a relationship. And this takes time, a lot of time. But of course, this is hard for German company reporting, business report, and so on and so on. You cannot say maybe in a year we make some business over there. They expect real concrete numbers. So Middle East and Turkey was really yeah exciting. Also southern parts of continental Europe like Italy, Spain, Greece. It's something special. Although that I was never active in France, but I was sometimes part of the team doing this. France is super special,
yep,
definitely. And but this is really the intercultural exchange, learning about people. And beside the really bad CO2 footprint by traveling a lot back in the days, um, this made me a better person with traveling because I had the chance to learn more about different cultures, and that made me aware that we are just all the same.
yeah,
Beside politics and power and money, it's we are the same.
yeah. Yeah, I manage a pretty multicultural team as well. And I personally struggle with, or I have struggled in the past with navigating nuances in the way that we communicate, in the way that we email, in the way that we, yeah, maybe host meetings. How do you do that when you enter into new regions?
Yeah, I mean, of course, English is the business language.
Yeah,
Huh? Fortunately, I would say most of the time, none of them was a native speaker in all these countries. This makes it more easy because we make the same mistakes. We have the same understanding how we would use English. For you as a native speaker, it's might be a disaster from time to time. And it was also particularly in Pacifico Energy Partners, I had an uh, team member from US. And I think it's more or less the same. I don't want to compare US and UK, definitely not. However, I think you have more words for the same thing, like
yeah,
six words mean the same for me, but there's small, tiny differences. I made so many mistakes. I was surprised how disgusted she was sometimes or offended. I felt like it was nice what I was saying. No, no, it was actually not. But it's easier with the with English. However, I spoke pretty well Spanish. This helps. This helped for Latin America and Spain, of course. Of, although in Latin America, the Spanish does not properly work in Latin America. You can have also make a lot of mistakes over there.
Yeah.
I learned a little bit of Italian, so this is always when you can some words you learn. And this was also always what I was trying to do. Some basic words like hello, good morning, good afternoon, goodbye was trying to learn in the particular language in these countries, and you always felt like a smile in the face. For me, the most exciting thing was really Iran when I
Yeah.
was 1 week in Tehran, which was a different experience, different from all the PV, and it was different from what I see today. But it was really good. And I mentioned to many people, for example, I preferred being in Tehran than in Dubai.
Yeah.
Many people didn't understand. But anyway, so language, of course, it takes more efforts. You have to understand that there might be some mistakes because of wrong in not interaction uh, what's the word sorry, a translation. You're right, lost in translation. This is
Yeah.
what I wanted to say.
Optimization. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to say. Yeah.
Okay. And so obviously a lot of this quite exotic, you could say, international
Yeah.
travel and from your roles at UE and now at Goldbeck. What's your operational or your geographical responsibility now?
Now we are entering into new markets because what we see is we have to be faster maybe because the market length or the period of active market might shorten because of negative prices here and there, and then we have to enter faster to new markets. So definitely what I started already in my former role in Goldbeck, that we now enter into the Italian market.
Yep.
So I spent a lot of time in Italy. We might enter into the Romanian market, definitely. Um, Others I'm not allowed to disclose, but
Yep.
it's more continental Europe for the time being, southern countries. However, what I can maybe share today, I had a really cool talk with somebody from Norway, and I'm really excited what they're planning over there. So this is really cool. I will be in September in Copenhagen attending a Solar Plaza event over there. So whoever's listening this, happy to team up with you in Copenhagen if some of you will join there. Um, so I'm traveling less. It's more desktop research. It's yes, working with AI and so on and so on, and different tools, and establishing internal processes that once the decision going to a market, there is a blueprint that everybody knows what to do. Means tax, legal, IT, HR. That we have a standard questionnaire to legal to advisors, external advisors, but also for technical specialties in certain markets because what I learned on a hard way when we entered into UK, there are some standards we were not aware of. So we were thinking, and to be honest, a little bit German arrogant, like say, we know exactly what we do, so we don't have to know what you want, guys. We know it even better. Uh, the client was not very happy with its approach, and yeah, it was. We lost some feathers on the way. So because some costs we did not consider, were thinking was the same cost like in Germany, but there were different prices for different components here and there. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, basically we are starting now 6 market entries. Now I'm attending with my team, and the plan is in the next years, upcoming years, that we would have 2 market entries a year. Goldbeck is divided in profit center, which mainly means markets, countries. So it would always mean that a new country will be driven by, first of all, from a PC from another country, but then after 2 years, when we think it's a good market, then we would establish a new profit center in this market with a new head of this market of this country, head of country, blah, blah, blah. And then creating a new team, kind of having more satellites. Also, another thing, part of my job would be market exits.
Yeah.
This would make me not particularly popular in the company, definitely. Closing countries, markets, and either we have the chance that we can say, okay, you were active in the market XYZ. Do you want to join the new market? But if not, then it would mean like goodbye, which is the hard job then. But this is also needed because we cannot afford, paying salaries to people not working because there's no market, actually.
Yeah.
Um,
Indeed. When you enter new markets, do you partner with anybody locally or any consultants locally, or do you do it all from your hub in Germany?
we do from the hub in Germany. I mean, definitely what we try always, and this is helpful when you are for quite some time in the market, that even though it's not partnering, like having a joint venture, but using the network and finding out some things, and this is helpful. Um, what happened in all the years and all the companies where have been, joint ventures are really difficult,
Yeah.
taking more time. And when it's not with the majority for one of the parties, and of course, wherever I've been, we were trying to have the majority, like at least 51, that there is no bottleneck in taking decisions. So the majority holder is then taking the decision finally. But this is a long fight.
Yeah.
And so therefore, and then the scopes are different usually, and then you have to decide what are the earnings. It's usually, even though if it's 50-50, the shares of the earnings would not be 50-50
Absolutely.
because the scope of the work is different and takes a lot of time. Um, I was never successful. We tried it several times, but this is even then more with the cultural background because then you have two egos of
Yeah.
different cultures, also not so easy.
Yeah, I know. I understand. I can imagine. And then you mentioned six markets. It seems quite a lot to some people that might be listening that have never entered a new market before. What are the biggest challenges on the radar of doing that?
Currently, it's definitely the to work with the internal stakeholders to motivate them because this is additional to their daily work. Um, and really going there, explaining why we do this, showing the benefit of it, that they respond in your expectations, that you have to send reminders. Please look what I told you, what I said to you. I need definitely your feedback because I cannot do anything without my team members. Like, I mean, anyways, in the whole company, in all the companies, I would say, even though there are hierarchies, but you need each and everybody in the company to be successful. So you have to work, and it's fun to work together. But of course, for people with a workload like up to the head, whatever, it's it's hard for them. So this is really hard. Um, to convince people maybe to go into a certain market because this is your view and you have to get the management buy-in to have to explain a lot and reiterate and coming back and forth, people asking, yeah, give me more information, and so on and so on. I mean, it's of course finally it's a gut feeling, although that's fact-based somehow, but still it's a gut feeling. And then it's with more experience, you have a feeling for
Yeah.
that. But also it's hard for one market we're entering. I was clearly stating no, I would not do it. And the management was saying, yeah, nevertheless, thanks, Dirk, but we will do it. And this was hard, particularly for my younger teammates who were saying, oh, Dirk, this is so unfair. We put a lot of work and brain in this. And it's so obvious what we did. So why don't they see it? I said, look, actually, this is our job.
Yeah.
We prepare. And then if they ask for our opinion, we, we can definitely go and say our opinion, but the decision will be taken by somebody else. And that's the deal.
Yeah, I mean, indeed. Um, Previously, you've obviously mentioned you used to run big teams, or you've run big teams at times, and I think now you're more of what would you describe as a sole contributor, or definitely running a smaller team.
Yeah.
Um, what motivated that change, and how's that been? It's quite a shift.
Yeah, it's really a shift. And to be very honest, it was not my decision.
Okay.
Uh, this came along with a little bit of transformation, where when Goldbeck decided to create more synergies, to combine more markets,
Uh-huh.
and creating out of profit centers, regional centers sometimes, not for all the markets. And now there is a new regional center, which is Western Europe. It's including Netherlands, UK, Italy for the time being.
Yep.
And then there was a decision of my line manager saying, Dirk, with your background, legal, so there was this, there's one too much. So either the one from the other PC running it, or myself. So and then how he explained it, saying, look, Dirk, he was asking me whether I would do this because of my legal background and I had more international experience than my competitor or what the other guy had. Let's call it this. And so he was sugarcoating and saying, look, Dirk, you are the one doing it. I will not force you to do so. Then we have to discuss more. But I was saying, look, actually, I always liked the new one. So I'm more the hunter than the farmer.
Yeah.
So I need something new. I really like this. And here the chance to look into new markets, which is really exciting, to see the difference between the markets, the different price strategies, the different political background, so on and so on. However, and this was the sad part of it, because I really like leading. I had a great team, 36 people, family, doing this for 3 years. It's a family. And
Hmm.
we were really coping good and more friends. I'm empowering people. Of course, I was the one taking decisions, but saying everybody, empowering, tell me your opinion about it. Challenge me every day, and let's do this together. And this is now over. Of course, I see the people,
Yeah.
and just Tuesday, we came. Some of them saw them on the corridor, and they say, "Oh, Dirk, it was really great time with you. We were a great team." And this is like that. They were all younger. As I mentioned at the beginning, I'm 54, and maybe most people in this sector would think it's about 30, even less, maybe. So really young, seeing the excitement, the motivation in the eyes, and feeling it. So it's great. Now it's only one person, great guy. We combine perfectly. He is more structured than I am. I have the experience, and he's the one creating the Excel, the PowerPoint, but of course coming with new ideas. Also, so this is also cool, and also a little bit working on like increasing the team. Maybe somebody with more technical background, and also working on a risk assessment department. So this was just a proposal to my superior, saying, look, I think it's actually something we should have more centralized risk management, and maybe having a ISO certification for this, which give more trust to banks, but also to investors, that they know, that they see we know exactly what we do. So I'm working a bit on my career here and increasing maybe my scope here and there. Um, but it's, yeah, working with young people is always exciting.
Yeah, indeed, and yeah, I suppose it's too early to see to ask exactly if you prefer this side or what you were doing previously. But what do you think's coming? What do you think's next in the next few years? Do you think you will grow a big team around this function that's continually to explore into new markets, or will you focus more on one or two areas? What do you
Um,
think?
I mean, the good thing and the bad thing in this industry was always you cannot plan,
Yeah.
because something new will pop up and you just have to cope with this and adopt yourself. Um, so my line manager was saying, "Well, Dick, I really want you to do this, what you do now. However, I think in 18 months you might have created a blueprint for everything. Then with AI, the market analysis is more and more driven by this. I'm learning a lot also with AI writing the right prompts to analyze here and there using different ChatGPT, Gemini, you name them, Copilot whatsoever, combining it. So I'm really getting a professional over there. It's really cool, learning new things every day. But then I think it really in 18 months, 2 years, this job is over somehow. Um, and my line manager was saying, look, Dirk, I think with the new markets, there will be the chance that you will come back to be it a profit center leader or a regional center, which I enjoyed a lot. Um, on the other hand, the next level could also be like a C-suite. I mean, with my experience, I've seen a lot. Managing people for many years now in different sizes. So this could also be definitely an option. And yes, you never know. This is the great thing about this industry. A lot of changes. You
Yeah.
adapt. You learn a lot. Never getting boring. Um, Maybe, I mean, definitely not. Again, like coming back to my disclaimer at the beginning, there's no plan to do so. But maybe we enter into the wind business or hydro or whatever,
Yeah. It,
and then
it brings me on
things
nicely
switch.
to the next couple of questions that I'm thinking about here. Like, firstly, I know we've touched upon this a little bit, but which markets do you see emerging in Europe being key players in the next few
Yeah.
years?
I mean, really, I can feel the Nordics will come.
Uh-huh.
Huh? Uh, Definitely also, I see it was already there. Portugal, I
Yeah.
think, will be a big one. They have the constraints with the grid, like most of the countries. Um, France is definitely one of the biggest markets in Europe, but if you don't have a French DNA, there's no chance to enter. Definitely not.
Yeah.
What is Netherlands, where you are based, is difficult now. I think for full EPC, it's more BESS,
Yeah.
but it might come back. You don't know. Um, Greece was always strong, but for me, it was always when I was in Greece active. It's a difficult market because anyway, there are a lot of players anyway. Greece even worse than Italy with all the archaeological things, and it's a very rocky area on the mainland. The islands are very small, and so it's difficult. When I'm saying Portugal, then comes directly to my mind Brazil,
Yeah.
which is a huge market, I think. Not easy to enter. I mean, also because of all these distances where you have to travel a lot and you don't know where would you establish your headquarters or even then local offices and so on and so on. Definitely you have to be, Brazilian. I mean, you need the Brazilian subsidiary over there. In my former team, there was a Brazilian guy when I just mentioned him, look, Gabriel, Brazil, wow, yeah, let's go there. I'm so excited. Please, Dirk, let's go. Wait. Yeah. So this would be, I think, more in 27 market. Um, and to be honest, I'm more focused now on the 6 markets to really for this internal stuff done than new markets. But I feel the Nordics could
Yeah.
be the next step. Unfortunately, like in Germany with all these negative prices, this is very challenging. On the other hand, all these markets or projects will be with battery, definitely, to cover this negative prices topic. Um,
And
yeah,
multi utilities is going to
yeah,
be the way to
definitely.
go moving forwards. I think
Yeah,
I'm getting that all the time. I had a call this morning that was talking about some existing projects they had that didn't have the battery capability, and they're in in big trouble with them. And then the other
however,
question,
maybe just to add on this on the battery. This is so complex, the business case. And there is, I think, many people think it's so easy because they think, okay, arbitrage is when they start thinking about it. But in many markets, only arbitrage would not work. So you need definitely for business cases, and then it comes with all these business cases that you need different batteries because it's the charging cycles are different, and then you have to think about when you have to substitute the new battery, another battery, and it's so complicated and complex to calculate this. So this is why I'm happy to be just an EPC
Yeah.
Tell me what you want, and I deliver. But on the other hand, it's really becoming more challenging being an APC.
And this again brings me on really nicely to what I wanted, the next question. But how do you see the industry evolving in the coming years? It's obviously changed astronomically in the last 16 since you've been in it, but how do you see the next few years in particular evolving?
I mean, what is really interesting, and it's coming also more and more, I saw it more in UK than in other markets, but I can see it now in other markets as well because the players are international. So it's German, it's Italian, it's French, it's UK, big funds everywhere, going over everywhere. Um, so what is really challenging is free issuing components from investor perspective. So all the investors becoming more professional. They have more or less the same people in the team like we have in the PC team. Mentioned before, they're working more and more with TAs, which is fine. They think that they can save money by buying components by themselves. So it started with modules, which are still like 30% of the whole capex. And of course, 30%, and then with the markup is money. An EPC would lose. Some investors were asking for, were trying to bring inverters, free issuing inverters, 10, 50% of a PV plant from the capex. And just yesterday, I was attending a webinar about substructure, and there was a guy from Nextracker saying that more and more investors asking to buy directly the trackers from them and not going through the PC. So what does it mean? That means more competition because even smaller companies can join the game, because one big thing for our subcontractors, for example, as an EPC, was they could not provide the bonds, the bank guarantees for the whole system. Now, when you would say 30% less because of no modules, 10% less because of inverters, blah, 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 and so on, then that's easy for them to bring the bonds. More competition. You becoming more like a construction company.
Yeah.
Challenging. On the other hand, of course, also for us, it's easier because guarantees from the bank, whether they have a collateral with equity, or you can have a bank guarantee line. They say, okay, from my bank you get 50 million, other bank 40 million, and then you just go with these guarantees. And this was always, it's a limiting factor because the clients ask for these bank bonds, and the project becoming bigger and bigger. When I started, 5 megawatt was a big PV plant. Now I would say like, oh, we don't go for 5 megawatt anymore. I think everything above 30, becomes interesting. Now I see companies in some markets, we follow this as well, saying 100 as minimum. So this is why risk management is more important, because you're not diversifying in 30 megawatt or whatever, let's say, or some 50, 200, bang, one thing. And if you fail, you fail. And this is what is challenging also for us, is definitely the grid constraints. When our part is done, because the grid connection comes from the client,
Yeah.
usually, and then we are ready, but then there's a delay of half a year, maybe even longer. I've seen even longer. And then there's the part where we're still bound. We don't get the full money from the client because they say, because until it's not connected to the grid, I don't know if it works. It looks nice, but we don't know. So this is challenging. Nevertheless, like in the past and up to now, many companies will fail. I think, yeah, more competition, but after time, maybe then we will see some companies will stay. Um, I'm a big fan of project development, of course, which is more difficult because you're finding your equity for quite some time, starting 2, 3, 4 years for project development with your own money. Then you start construction, maybe having the full scope, maybe then development, construction with financing, and then selling it. This would mean 6 years of finding equity or liquidity. This is definitely hard. But we see many companies going there. Some of them become a pure IPP, so going out of this. This is one way. And then some people would say with more companies going this way, this is more room for EPCs.
Yeah.
On the other hand, some companies would say, yeah, I do the EPC by myself because it's cheaper, because I don't have to pay for the markup. Others, like your client in UK, I knew it. However, he was very frank, saying, Dirk, look, I pay you for taking the risk.
Yeah.
That's it. Huh? So we take the risk. And therefore, we should, as an EPC, we should have a 30% markup on our costs, which we definitely don't have.
Yeah.
The expectation of some people is think it's that our markup is in this range, but it's definitely not. I cannot disclose, definitely not, but it's definitely not in this range, way much lower. So it's hard. Good people would help. The more experienced the people in your company, lowering the risk of an EPC. On the other hand, and you as a recruiter, you know the salaries increased a lot in the last years. And then with a low margin or low markup and high salaries, this is a mismatch.
Yeah.
And labor costs are the highest cost. Anyways,
Yeah.
this is a
It's
little bit.
it's essentially increasing the risk. And that's if you are able to find good people, which I think we both know can
Yeah,
be.
of course. And then coming back to where we're going to, Goldbeck is looking more into automation,
Yeah.
so that we have less, subcontractors, that we are less dependent on this, doing this. A colleague was just recently in Shanghai I think the name is Snack on the big fair over there. Was really amazed what's going on. So we definitely have to look more to the Chinese markets. We should, nevertheless, the Western countries should try to get more independent from China, but they're so advanced to come to this. And of course, what we all see is in the industry, as particularly as an EPC, like saying the clients were saying, yeah, ESG is super important, and please provide module without anti-slavery, blah blah blah. And they say, okay, no problem. You can have this from Europe, summer. This would cost 3 cents more. Yeah, maybe next year. So it's not so important this year. So the price is still, of course, running the business, and there's no idealistic approach.
No, definitely not. And you mentioned it a few times through the conversation, but yeah, automation, AI, all of these topics are only going to exponentially grow as time goes on. Just coming to some kind of like closing reflections, I would say. So, what advice would you have for somebody that wants to get where you are today? Someone joining the industry, for example.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, don't think that because of your different background you cannot do this. You can. And then if you want to do this, be motivated, be curious, be ambitious. Um, I'm not saying like you have to work 14 hours a day, whatever. Trying to be efficient, show your line manager that you really want to deliver share your ideas. Yeah, ask definitely, and this what I see definitely anyways young people do, ask for support that you want to grow, ask for a career plan, talk about your expectations. It's everywhere. It's expectation management.
Yeah.
If you don't tell your line manager what are your expectations, he might not ask, particularly with an old chap like I am. So I learned a lot in the last years with young people, more young people, because I'm getting older, but my colleagues getting younger always.
Feels that way.
I'm jumping to new teams always. So you have the young people have to tell the old guys what they want to achieve, but be curious. And of course, there's something mentioned always. There are no stupid questions.
Yeah.
Ask as much as you can, and that's it. If you have the chance, what I currently do with my guy in my team, what I do is he's running to all the departments of Goldbeck to learn where are the pain points in in each department, what is driving their business, their business in their department. And I think this is definitely helpful for each and everybody that they have the chance to go through. And if you think one role, but you just entered the company, you can change in one of the companies. You can change the shift to another department. And if you have a good line manager, he will definitely have a look, have an eye on you, and will say, well, you started like sales, but maybe you are more controlling guy, whatever. Yeah, but that's it. It's never too late to come to this business. We are looking for the young and the old people coming with different perspective is helpful because when you are too long, I don't know, I'm trying always with German quotes, but let's see. If you're boiling too much in your own water, then you don't learn anything more. So different perspectives, bringing new views aside. Yeah, that's it. Do it. The sector is great. Great people. That's it. And if you have the chance to attend a meeting with Tom in one of his fantastic sessions, or what I had a chance to join during Intersolar, it was really great. And I'm not saying this because Tom is sitting in front of me. It was really cool. I had the chance to talk to other people from the industry, same level like I was, but nevertheless really good chats. And with some of them, I just joined, just started having uh, chats in every quarter or whatever, an exchange. So it's really cool. Be curious. That's it.
Yeah, thanks for the kind words as well. We will put Dirk's details and information, nothing private, of course, in the below this where we release the podcast. So if anyone wants to connect with him or follow his work, then feel free to do so. And yeah, I think it'll be a really interesting journey for people to listen to. Dirk, in particular, some of the international work and experience that you've got is remarkable, really. And yeah, hopefully we'll get you back on in the future when maybe you're settled in to another profit center or working more primarily in another market again. That's no longer emerging but emerged. So
Yeah.
yeah, thanks, Dirk.
Thanks for that time. It was really a pleasure. That really a kind host. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.